So inshallah we'll go and start learning the Arabic through the Quran. And as I said, basically all you need to know is how to read the Quran in Arabic language. So we'll do a detailed breakdown of every word in here. But first thing is that because we are learning the Arabic, we are going to use the Arabic terminologies. So what you call the zabar in Urdu, we will call fataha in English, in Arabic. So when you use the word, when you see the word fataha I'm using, that means I'm using the word zabar in Urdu. And it is represented by this symbol. And it is actually the sound of alif. Because the sound of fataha or zabar is actually the sound of alif. Very simple. Then the other thing that we are used to in Urdu is zair. In Arabic, this is kasra. So I will be using the word kasra, not zair. And it is represented by this symbol. And this is actually the sound of ya. Okay, E. So this is the sound of A in English. This is the sound of E. And the third one is we call pesh. This is called dhamma. And this is represented by this. This is the sound of wow. And in English it is O. Okay. These three letters are very important. Alif, Ya, and Waw. And they are called huruf illat. Illat means alil, means sick. Why do they call sick letters huruf illat? Because whenever these letters come in a word and it is hard to pronounce the word, we make some changes in the sound of these letters. So sometimes we drop them, sometimes we change the sound of them to easy pronunciation. So that's the reason they are huruf illat, because they can be changed. So just keep these few things in mind because I will be using these things again and again. So fataha is zabar, kasra is there, and dhamma is pesh. So we'll be using these very often. Okay, so with that introduction, we are going to start inshallah learning the Arabic through Surah AlHujrat. As I said that 99% of the Arabic words start with three letters only. So these are three letters, ha, Jim, and Ra. The beginning point of every word is any three letters. So in this case, I took the letter Ha, letter Jim, and Ra and put in this order. Okay? So when I combine these three letters, some meaning will come out of these three letters. So the first thing I'm going to combine is that this way. Ha I combine with a Jim with a Dhamma sign, which is a pesh. So it will pronounce Huj. Ra, and this is a Ta, but it's a round Ta. Hujratun. The meaning of this word is a room. Hujratun means a room or a small apartment or some closed space. Hujratun. Okay. When we stop, pronounce okay. The full word always has these two dhammas at the end. So word is not hujra. The full word is hujratun. When we use this word in this sentence, its sound will keep changing. But initial word that you start always will have two dhammas at the end. Hujuratun. Okay, that is one thing. Then there is a sign, this round ta here, this is a ta, and this is a ta also. This is regular ta, this is called round ta, because it's rounded. The same thing, same ta you took and turn around. This is called ta marbuta. Whenever this thing comes at the end, that object is a feminine. Okay, for example, the word is Hamid, a male name, a man's name, Hamid. Okay, actually the full name is Hamidun, always with the two dhammas. So the full name is Hamidun. And if I want to make the feminine name, this will be Hamidatun. When we stop pronunciation or we lose breath, we say Hamid and we say Hamida. Okay, these are the common names. Hamid is a masculine name. Hamidatun is a feminine name. So whenever you see this round ta at the end of the word, 99% chances are that this is a feminine word. Okay, so this hujuratun, which in English means a room, is a feminine word. Okay, so every word in English, in Arabic, either is a masculine or a feminine. There is nothing in between. Okay, in English you have a feminine and you have a masculine and you have it, he, she, or it. Okay, in Arabic there is no it, but the word by itself is feminine or masculine, and accordingly we will use the pronoun for that. So just keep these few basic things in mind. Okay, now when we make the plural of this word, the plural is made this way. Hujuratun. This is the plural. And we'll learn more after that, but this is Hujuratun. What happens? When you make the plural, this round ta opens up to a regular ta. The round ta is only for singular. So this means rooms. Okay. So that's how plural is made. And we'll see many examples will come. Okay. So hujuratun is one room. Hujuratun always have to have two dhammas at the end, two pesh at the end.
When it is written, you can differentiate between the singular and plural, but when you're speaking or reciting, then how do you know?
Here, if you see this alif is making the sound of hujara. Okay. This is hujratun. Okay, so this is another thing very important, that we pronounce the word correctly. If you do not stretch here, hujura. So this is just, so how would you pronounce these two? Okay. This is short ra, this is ra. Okay. So that is, this alif is making the difference here. Okay. So hujuratun, hujuratun. Okay. So hujuratun means rooms. Okay. Now we add few other things. In English, if these rooms are some specific rooms, we add a da in there. Definite noun. Okay.
In the plural, you also change the ta marbuta to the regular ta.
That's what I said. Yeah. So the ta marbuta is regular ta. Okay. This is basically a different way of writing the ta. The sound is same, function is same, everything. It just turn around like this. Okay. So hujuratun. Now we want to make it some rooms which are some special rooms. Da. In Arabic, what we do, we add these two letters, al, before that. But when we add al, we make one more change, that this two sound, this goes to one dhamma. So it becomes al-hujuratu. The correct and the full word is al-hujuratu. Okay. Now, interestingly, let's see in the way we are used to of reading the Quran, that these are the last words of the ayat, and then after that is a circle or ayat, you stop there. When you stop, you do not pronounce these two dhammas. You will pronounce hujurah. Here you will pronounce al-hujurat. So this, whatever this last letter, always the last letter, whatever this sound is, you change the sound into the sound of sukoon. So when you pronounce like there is a sukoon here and a sukoon there. Hujrah. And this is hujurat. Al-hujurat. Okay? Very important things, because the meaning will change, the sound will change, a lot of things will change. Okay? So you start with the three letters, you make a noun singular, hujuratun, always tun. Then you make the plural this way, and if you want to give them a proper designation, you add al in there. Also in Urdu, we write al this way. Okay. In Arabic, it is written this way. Okay, so I will be using the Arabic script because that's what we will need to learn. So whenever you see this, and there is a meaning for that, there is a lot of information. When we go in details, you will see I will be writing this way, not this way. Okay. So that's important things. So the word is al-hujuratu. If you stop, you will pronounce al-hujurat. And that's the name of the surah, Surah AlHujrat. It's actually al-hujuratu, because we are stopping, we are pronouncing al-hujrat. What is this surah about? This surah is about in Medina, Prophet ﷺ had some residential area where he lived with his wives. And there were a small area, small rooms that they were residing. And one day, some people came from out of town and they stood outside the rooms and they started calling, "Oh Muhammad, come out, we want to talk to you." Prophet ﷺ came out, and then whatever the conversation took place, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this surah, teaching these people who came and he started calling him that you don't call a prophet like this. You don't stand like you go to a friend's house and if friend is not there or you cannot reach, either you call or you do something. With the Rasulullah, you don't do those things. You have to show the utmost respect for him. And if you have to wait hours outside, you wait outside. When Prophet ﷺ is available, he will come out and talk to you. So this was a lesson that was taught to show the respect to the Prophet and to the elders. Okay? So if you are in rush, you take your time and don't deal like you deal with your friends and other people. Okay? So that is the context of the surah, and the name was given Al-Hujrat, Surah Al-Hujrat. Okay? So with that, first we will learn the details of A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim, and then we will do first ayat. Usually we go in very much details, and sometimes it's only one ayat, two ayat that we do in one whole class. Okay, so as I said that 99% of the Arabic words start with three letters. Okay, so let's take these three letters, fa, and lam. And this is the way they are written in the dictionary. Anywhere you want to approach the language, the letters will be written as three capital letters, and the order will be defined this way. These are three separate letters, and they really don't have any meaning. But once we start combining and making words out of these three letters, the meaning will start coming out. Okay, but the meaning that will come out is equivalent to do in English. To do in English is equivalent to fa, ayn, and lam. So that is the starting point of learning of these three letters. Okay. Now, if in English I want to do this thing, I want to put a third person and the past tense. A third person masculine and a past tense. And it became a short sentence. He did. What we do in Arabic, that we first combine these three letters like this, and on each of these three letters we put a fataha on that. Okay, and that is the first element in the grammar table. Past tense, third person, masculine, singular. That is he. Did is the past tense. In Arabic, all you have to do is put three letters there and pronounce fa, a, la. This is a template. We will be using these templates a lot. Okay, so I want to make one more word and then jump on the ayat there. If I want to make the Arabic of this word, I do. Okay, so in this small English sentence, there's a lot of information. This has information of present tense. It has the information of first person, singular person, and by the way, this letter does not distinguish between male and female. I. Okay, so but that's what I want to check out in Arabic. So what we do in Arabic, we take these same three letters. Okay. Cannot add any other letter except that those three letters which I listed in the beginning, weak letters. So I'm going to add an alif in the beginning. Okay. So just remember that this in Arabic, this alif is equivalent to I. Okay. Now, I cannot pronounce this, so I need the help of the harakats. So what I do, I put a hamza, which is just like fatah as I mentioned, and put a sukoon here, af, and then put a fatah there and a dhamma there. Now we can pronounce, that's how Arab pronounce this word, af'alu. So when the word af'alu is heard, it has all this information. So you notice that the whole game is about adding these sounds in there. In this case, the three sounds of were added. In this case, mostly the same, but last letter had the sound of dhamma, sound of wow, sound of o. Af-alu. Af-alu means I do at present time. Af'alu. Okay? So now remember that. So I'm going to take the help of this word and learn the ayat there. Actually, that's before reciting the Quran, we read that. So these are the three letters: Ain, Waw, and Dal. Okay, these are, as I said, that all the words will start with three letters. The meaning of these three letters is ask protection. Three letters have some meanings, and this is the meaning of those three letters. Actually, it is not the meaning yet, but once we make the word, then the meaning will come out. Right now, these are just three letters. They are written in certain order. Ayn is written first, Waw is written next, and Dal is written after that. Okay. Now I'm going to apply this template here. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put an alif in the beginning, just like I did there. And these three letters are now those three letters. So I'm just going to combine them, Ain, Waw, and Dal. Three letters I wrote down together. Now I have to put the same harakats. These are called harakats, the symbols which create the sound. So what is this one? It's a jazam or a sukoon, just like this one. Then a fatah, then a dhamma. Okay. Now try to pronounce this one. Pronounce like you have to combine like af. This will be a'a, wadu, a'a wazu. The sound right now is a'a wadu. Difficult to pronounce. Okay, doesn't look very rhythmic either also. Okay. Now, remember I mentioned in the beginning that this is a weak letter in the middle, Waw. And the sound is hard in this word to pronounce. So I'm going to adjust the sound here. Take the help of this, because this is a weak letter I can play with. You cannot play with other letters. You can only play with the weak letter. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep the first sound same as this and the last sound same as this. Okay. In the middle I have Ayn and I have a Waw. These two. Okay. Ayn had a sukoon on it. So I'm going to pass on that sukoon to Waw. Okay. And Waw had a fatah on it, but the sound of the Waw is actually U, which is dhamma, pesh. So I'm going to just use the sound of the Waw on Ayn. Okay. Now try to pronounce. It's easy to pronounce. It looks more polite. Auzu. Okay. Try to pronounce here. A'awadu. Here is auzu. Okay. So that's how the pronunciation. Can you give a copy of that? Yeah. So these are the adjustment we are doing here. Okay. So many adjustments we did there, and at the end we came up with a very soft spoken word, a'udhu. What's the meaning of a'udhu? I ask protection, because this alif is bringing the meaning of I and the present tense. So this is the word in the Quran here before. By the way, this is not an ayat, but it's a command in the Quran. فَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, whenever you recite the Quran, seek protection with Allah from shaitan. So that's the reason we recite A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem. Actually, interestingly, Quran doesn't say that recite Bismillah Rahman Rahim before reading the Quran. Quran says recite the first one. Okay? But because we start everything with the Bismillah, we recite the Bismillah Rahman Rahim before reading the Quran also. So the first word is A'udhu, I seek protection, or I seek refuge. Okay, so that's the meaning so far. So the meaning is here, I seek or I ask, the same thing. Okay. Now let's take the next word. And I'm going to go, because I think most of the people are new here, the word Billahi. The actual word is Allah. Okay. And there are two opinions that is this word actually the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or it can be created by grammatical rules. Okay. So I'm going to show you the opinion here which says that this word can be created by the rules of the grammar. Okay? And those who say this is the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then this is the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I cannot do anything. Okay? And there is a reason, both have logic, but as we proceed, I'll come and explain that logic to you also. So the word starts with these three letters, Alif, Lam, and Ha. All letters start with three letters. All words start with three letters. Okay? Now I'm going to combine these this way. Okay. What I did here, I took the first letter and put a kasra, basically the sound of kasra, a hamza underneath. And this gives you the sound of E, Alif with a kasra sound of E. On the Lam, I just put a letter here, which is just like an Alif. This is nothing different than Alif. It's another way of writing this way. Okay. It's just a script. So I took the second letter and put an Alif after that. So it will become La. First sound is E, second sound is La. I always mention that the third letter will have two dhammas, always in a noun. And the sound is as the sound of Noon. Tanween sound is Noon. So the sound is Ilahun. Ilahun is a word in Arabic which means a God. What is a God? A God. Anything you are attached with, you love, you worship, is that thing your God. Your desire. Anything that you are associating yourself, submitting yourself to, is a God. In English, they prefer to write with a small g. Okay? Now, I'm going to put the word Al before that. Al means the. Okay? And then I'm going to write down this word here after that. Ilahun. Al Ilahun. Al means the. So what I did actually, I put the before that. The a God. Okay. So far that is the formation. There's some problems here. The is the definite and a is indefinite. In a word you cannot have both. Either it's going to be a book or the book. So what you have to do, you'll have to kill this a here in English. Okay? To do a similar thing, because this was a God and now we want to make it the God, we have to do some change here which represents the change like this a. So what we do, we take these two dhammas and change into one dhamma. That is equivalent of removing this a here. Okay? Now we are going to pronounce this. Whenever we put al before a word that has alif in the beginning, we do not pronounce this middle alif, and we'll see a lot of examples of that. So what is left now? Al, la, hu. Okay? So this will be written this way. Allahu. There are two lams. There's one lam here and this lam here. I wrote down lam with a shadda there. So the word is, full word is Allahu. When we stop, we pronounce Allah. We don't pronounce Allahu when we stop. For example, if the word is coming before another word, you have to pronounce it full. But if it is the last word of the sentence, then you do not pronounce this harakat. Okay, simple example. Allahu Akbar. So you are pronouncing Allahu. Allahu Akbar. But if you are pronouncing Subhanallah, you do not pronounce this dhamma here. So whenever a word you stop, you lose your breath, you do not pronounce the last letters harakat. So the full word is Allahu. Full word is Allahu. Out of the respect, whenever we use this word, we have a name for that. We call it Ismi Jalala. Ism means noun or name, and Jalala, the one who has grace, highest respect. So Allahu is called Ismi Jalala, and this word, as I said, can be created with the help of the grammar, as well as people say this is the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so there is no reason to come with this logic here, but it fits the grammar. Okay? So, but the important thing that I want to emphasize is that the word, full word is Allahu. Okay?
When we say Lillah, then what happens?
That's one. We will come. We'll say a lot of those things. Okay, so I'll actually say coming right after that. So this is the word Allahu. So now just want to give a little bit detail of that. Let's see, you have these three letters. Kataba. Kataba means to write. Okay. When we make a word out of that, Kitabun, always there will be last letter with two dhammas. If you don't put two dhammas, that word doesn't mean anything. So the full word is Kitabun. Kitabun means a book. Okay. Always indefinitely. A book, any book. Okay. But if you want to make a definite book, then you put al before that. Okay. That means you are putting the here. Okay. You have to do the same thing, remove a and remove these two and put one there, just like we did here in Arabic. So the word is kitabun. Kitab is no word. Kitabun. And if it's a definite book, it is al-kitabu. Okay, with one dhamma here. So that is the very standard rule. We'll be using these rules a lot as we proceed further. Okay, so just keep these basic rules in mind. Okay, then let's go to the next thing. So there are some words in Arabic, and we'll start with ba with a kasra.
Did you feel that?
For example, take a minute, fi, min, and there are about 11 of
You are
those.
volunteering?
Okay, I'm just going to go 3 of those to make it simple. This word be means with, fi means in, and min means from. These are the meanings of these, and there are a few more. Okay. In English, these are called prepositions. So these are preposition. Okay. Why do we call them preposition? They define the position of something. Book on the table. Okay. So position of the book on a position of the table. So they are called prepositions. In Arabic, these are called harf-jar. They are called harf-jar. Okay. In English, when you make a sentence, it's very easy. You can say a pen in the pocket. So just use the in there and combine it. But in Arabic, whenever these words, these are actually not letters, but they are called harf. When they come before a noun, they make a change in the noun. Okay, and let's see how it happens. That if we have the word kitabun, okay, and the meaning is that a book. Okay. Now if I open the book and start reading, looking inside the book, I'm going to put a meaning of the word fi, and this will be in a book. Okay, if I'm telling you, something is written in a book. In English, I'll put just in. In Arabic, we'll just put a fi. Fi means in. But Arabic language does not stop here. In Arabic, when you make a sentence, combine few words, some grammar, some other things, one word affects the next word. One word has an effect on the next word. English doesn't matter. You simply say, I put an in there and kept and this kept book. Didn't do anything. Just add it. It doesn't happen in Arabic. What is the effect of this word, which is a preposition or a harf-jar? The effect is this. It will always look, everything will always look at the last letter, first of all. The last letter is this ba here. Then it will go and look, what is the sound of this ba? 2 dhammas. So it says, harf-jar will say, I don't like this. I'm going to pronounce it this way. Fi kitabin. Harf-jar attacks the noun and goes to the last letter, which is ba here, and looks at the sound of the last letter. This is the sound actually. 2 dhammas are the sound. And changes to sound to kasras. So the word became fi kitabin. Separately it was fi and kitabun. But when you make a short sentence, it is no more kitabun. It is kitabin. Okay? So now, let's look at this word now. But before I do, one more thing I want to point out here. Let's see if the word was al-kitabu. Al means the. We just created that word. Al-kitabu. Al-kitabu means the book. Okay. I want to put fi. Now this is a definite book. Okay. So I want to put fi here. So in English, very simple. You just put in there. In English, you're done. Okay. In English, you just put in before and you're done. Arabic now, fi is attacking actually two words now. One is al, the other is kitabu. Because al already changed kitabun to kitabu. We just saw that. Al had already changed kitabun to kitabu. Now comes fi before that. Okay, so he said, okay, what I want to do with this word. He says, first of all, it will go all the way to the end, dhamma. And say this last letter has a dhamma. Says, I'm going to change this to kasra. Because if there were two dhammas, it changed two kasras. If there is one dhamma, it changed to one kasra. Fi says, my work is not done yet. I have to pronounce it now. So, fi and al-kitabu are two separate words. Okay? Arab said, why to pronounce as two separate words? Make it easy in pronunciation. So they said, what happens if I drop this alif there? Alif is just a weak letter. It's not doing anything. It's not bringing any meanings there. It's just a sound. So why do I have to sound it? So he says, then why don't I combine this fa with the lam? Fil kitabi. It saves you maybe a fraction of a second. Pronouncing fi, al-kitabu, break in between, takes a long time. Pronounce as fil kitabi. It is smooth on the tongue, saves time, long speech, saving a lot of time. Okay. So the pronunciation is fil kitabi. Now the problem is that this alif has to be kept there. Because if you're teaching someone and you will say, oh, fi was one word, al-kitabu was another word, but we are reading them together, alif is still there, alif has this little sign there, this sign. So what we do in the writing, in the script, we change this to a small half swad. Okay. This letter, alif, is not called alif anymore. This letter, this is alif here, with a harakat on here, which was the fatha harakat. But now we are not pronouncing this, so we are removing this little sign there, putting this thing there, and this is called now Hamzatul Wasl. Hamza al-Wasl. Now, Hamza is just a vertical line. The Wasl word in Arabic and in Urdu is also used, means to join something. Wasl means to join. So what happened here? We joined fi and al-kitabu. In the process of joining, we sacrificed this little alif here, sound of alif. So joining is wasl. So by joining the two words, we change the sound of alif and sound, and this, also the symbol here changed to this one. So if you look in the Quran, you will see, by the way, the surah that I gave you is printed in the Usmani script, Indo-Pak script. that script that we are taught back home has some deficiency in them. Okay, it doesn't explain the way Usmani script is written, which is much more detailed script. So in that, if you open an Usmani Quran, half of the Quran in every masjid are Usmani font, you will see that this little symbol will be there. In Indo-Pak Quran, they just leave this alone like that. Nothing changes, it's just a different way of writing, a different style of writing. But here, you cannot explain to the student what it is. But when you put a swad here, I can give you more information. That swad means wasl, and it's called Hamzatul Wasl, and wasl means two words joined together, and alif is sacrificed. Just by writing it in this way, you may not be able to explain to the student what this means. Okay? So anyway, so the word become fil kitabi. Okay? Now look at that. The harf-jar preposition be and Allahu. Okay, be means with, and the word is Allahu. Okay, full word is Allahu. Be is a harf-jar. It means with. But harf-jar doesn't just come alone. It affects the next word. It will go and look at the last letter, which is ha here. Then it will look at the last harkat of the letter, which is dhamma. It says, I need to change that dhamma to a kasra. So this will be changed to a kasra. Okay. Now comes the speaker, the reciter. He said, if instead of pronouncing B and Allahu, which became Allahi separately, I'll connect them, speak them fast, so he doesn't pronounce this alif in the middle. So the pronunciation will be Billahi. Okay, this alif is not pronounced anymore. Okay, and you can notice that the way I have written there, this Hamza and Fatah is changed now in a small swat there. In here. Okay. So Billahi means with Allah. I seek protection with Allah. So you have to be very careful. This preposition in English language, sometimes they have multiple meanings. Sometimes be also means of or from and all that. So you have to make sure that you are seeking protection with Allah. This may have multiple meanings, so you have to pick up the right meaning. If you change this, you put there from, the meaning will be totally opposite. Okay? So you're seeking protection with Allah means you are going to Allah and asking to give refuge and protection. So you are heading towards Allah. With Allah means you are going towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and asking protection. Okay. Now look the next word here. Min. This is another harf-jar and it means from. So you are seeking protection with Allah from shaitan. Okay. So very careful that you translate the correct prepositions. Otherwise your sentence will totally mess up. May change the meanings and bring the wrong meanings. Okay. So anyway, so far this. Then let's look at the next word. So we will apply this minash, but let's look at the next word. Okay. Okay, so these it starts with these three letters: Sheen, Fa, and Noon. Shatana. Three letters. Okay. The English meaning of these three letters is to rebel. To rebel. Okay. And the doer is made by doing this one. If I write down, if I put a ya after that and pronounce as a shay, okay. So I am just putting a ya here and an alif there. Okay. So shay, ta. This alif I can write down this way. So it becomes shaitan, and always two dhammas at the end. Shaitan. Full word is shaitanun. Shaitanun is a person who rebels. Okay? A rebellious person. One who is rebelling against something. So that is shaitanun. Always two dhammas at the end. Okay? Shaitanun. Anybody who is rebelling is shaitan. Okay? Now you put al before that. Al means the. Okay? So what al will do? First of all, al will change two dhammas to one. Okay? So now the word became al shaitanu. This is some specific shaitan, not any shaitan. Okay? And this title is given to Iblis. Okay? The one jinn who disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when he was commanded to make sajda to Adam alayhi salam, he rebelled against the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His historic name was Iblis, but his title became the one who rebelled, the one who disobeyed. And then, so this is al-shaitan. Now in the tajweed, there are some letters, they are called shamsi letters, and there are some letters which are qamari letters. So sheen is one of those letters that if lam comes before that, sheen kills the sound of lam and make its own sound twice. Okay, so that's pure tajweed, nothing to do with the grammar. So what happens is that this becomes ash shaitanu. So the final word became, lam has no harakat because we are combining now with the sheen and making a shadda. Ash shaitanu. Ash shaitanu is the full word now. The rebellion, the one who rebelled, the highest. Okay, so this is ash shaitanu. The full word is ash shaitanu. If you stop, you can pronounce ash shaitan, but no more al shaitan. Okay, ash shaitanu is the full word. Okay, now put min before that. Min is a harfijar, and its meaning is from. Okay, so what will min do? First thing min will do, because it's harfijar, it's going to look at the last letter, which is, it's just like it will scan the whole thing and find out the virus, for example. So it will go to the last letter, noon, and say it has a dhamma on it. It says, I don't like this. I'm going to change this to a kasra. That's the first fix it will do. It's a harfijar. We are seeing that here. Okay. So now it becomes min ash-shaytanu. Okay? So now comes the Qari, reciter. He said, well, these are two words. Why not I pronounce them as a single word? Okay? So he's going to combine this and this. And he says, whatever is in between, just a sound of alif. So he says, I don't care for alif. So he says, combine the noon with the sheen. And when you do that, you have to get rid of the sound of alif, so put a swad there. Okay. One more problem, Qari found that if this is a sukoon, he cannot do it. So he says, okay, I'll change this to a fatah. So now the sound is mi, nash, shaitani. The full word is mi, nash, shaitani, minash shaitani. Fast pronunciation, rhythm, and short meanings, short writing. Minash shaitani. That's the way it is written there. From the devil. Okay. From the is important because there may be other devils, but this is the big one, pointing to that one who disobeyed Allah in the beginning. Okay. Now, one more thing will. What's the time, by the way? How are we doing in terms of time?
11:30.
So half an hour we have. Okay. We usually don't finish what we write on the board. We'll continue that. Okay. So let's look at the next word. Okay. The next word is ar-rajimi. So let's look at that word. So this starts with these three letters, Ra, Jim, and Mim. These are the three letters. Okay. When people who go for Hajj, they throw stones and rocks on the shaitan. It's called rajami. So rajama, Ra, Jim, and Mim, it means to stone something or to curse something. Okay, to stone or to curse. Okay. Now, before I explain this further, let's look at a rule here. These three letters, fa, and lam, these are the template letters, and the meaning of this is to do. Okay. If we write these three letters together and put a ya in the middle, okay, like add a ya here, okay, so this becomes fa, and pronounced as a fa, e, lun. Fa'ilun. We made a word, fa'ilun. Okay? Always two dhammas at the end. There is no noun without two dhammas at the end. Okay? So what we did, we just put an e in between of the second and third letter. Fa'il. Fa'il. So when we make a word at this template, this meaning of this is a doer. A person who does something is fa'il. But there's a difference here. This word fa'il, and there's a word fa'il, by the way. If you put in an alif like that, fa'ilun, this also means doer. If you put an alif between the first two letters, it becomes fa'ilun, which is a doer. If you put a ya here between the second and third letter, it becomes fa'ilun. Both are doers, but the difference is that This is a normal. You did something one time, you are fa'il, doer. But this one has intensity of action in it. Intensity. Fa'il means a person who does the same thing again and again and again. Okay? Fa'il is a template which has the intensity of the doer. And all these Asma'ul Husna of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that are created at this template. Look at the Rahimun. His Rahmat is intense. Qadirun, same template. His Qudrat is intense. Okay? Fa'ilun, Rahimun, Qadirun, Kareemun, Azimun. All those Asma'ul Husna of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have intensity in them. Lot of intensity. So the difference between, okay, for example, here, take these three letters. They will probably give you a better picture. Ain, Lam, and Mim. So this is Alimun, and this is Alimun. Alama means to know something. Ain Lam means to have some knowledge of something. Alim is a person who goes to school, get a degree, and he becomes alim. It's limited knowledge. But alimun is the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Unlimited knowledge, intense knowledge. You don't call people alim when they get a degree. You call them alim. Okay, because that is the sifat that has intense knowledge in it, and that is the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the rule is that whenever you create the word at this template, it has the intensity of action. When we recite Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, this word Rahim has the intensity in it. Intensity of Rahmat. And when we come here, we will see that what is the meaning of Rahman. But Rahim has the intensity of the mercy and Rahmat in it. Okay? So Fa'il is intensity. Okay? Rajama means to curse or to throw a stone. Rajimun is someone who has the intensity of curse on him. And it is title given or a sifat given to shaitan, because it's defining the shaitan. Okay, so before we do that, let's look a little bit more here. So you have two words, Ismun. Ismun means noun. Okay? Anybody, like I said, child or a man, it's ism noun. And the other thing is called sifat. Sifatun. Okay, actually it's a tamar. This is adjective. Sifat is a quality of a person. The child is brave. So child is the name, and being brave is the quality of that child. So this quality in English is called adjective. In Arabic it's called sifat. Sifat of a thing is, okay. Now in English, you can say a child, let's say masculine, feminine. A little girl is beautiful and a little boy is beautiful. Okay? You did not distinguish in the word beautiful. You applied the same word to both of them. Arabic, you cannot do that way. Arabic has a rule. If the person is a feminine, its sifat will be feminine. If the person is masculine, the sifat will be masculine. And you already know the examples. When I tell you, you know it. Hamid is a name. Okay? If Hamid is making sajda, you will call him Sajid. Its sifat is Sajid. But if the girl name is Hamida, when she is making sajda, you cannot call her Sajid. You will have to call her Sajida. So sifat follows the ism. Sifat is the quality. If the name is masculine, the sifat will be, the quality will be masculine. Okay. If it is feminine, it will be feminine. If it is singular, its sifat will be singular. If it's plural, then sifat will be plural. Okay. So just remember that in English, when you give some quality to someone, you just put two words together. Okay. But in Arabic, you have to first figure out if this name is a masculine or a feminine or a singular or plural, and then you have to go and find the right word for that. Okay. So now notice that this word, by the effect of the word before that, had become shaitani. Originally it was shaitanun. Then we made some change, it becomes ash-shaitanu. Then we put the min before that, it became mina-shaitani. Okay, so let's just keep that in mind. And now look at the word here. Doer we want to make is going to be rajimun. Rajimun is the one who has the intensity of curse, or you want to throw a lot of stones on him or something. Rajimun. Then you put al before that. Okay, so first thing it will do is change this to one dhamma. The cursed one with intensity. Okay, and then again, when you pronounce these two together, Ra will change the sound of Lam and it will pronounce as Ar Rajimu. So this will become Ar Rajimu. Important thing is that last letter had a dhamma on it. Okay, so the word is up to this point by just adding. So we started with 3 letters, root letters. Then we made the doer. Okay, just by putting a ya, we already put some information that this doer is an intense doer. He's not a simple doer anymore. Then we said, okay, this could be any, we want to make some specific one, so we add al there. Okay, al brought its own activity, which means first thing it did, it says that 2 dhammas will be changed to 1 first. Then it said, now I want to pronounce it in a shortcut. So I'm not going to pronounce lam but ra twice. Ar-rajimu. Ar-rajimu means the one who is cursed a lot. Okay. Now this is the sifat now of a shaitani. The word was a shaitani. So grammatically we will have to change this to rajimi. Okay. So the reason rajimu became rajimi now is because it's coming as a sifat of shaitan. If it was by itself, it will remain rajimu. If the word was not coming in a sentence, then this word is ar-rajimu. But as I said, the one word has effect on the other word. So it became ar-rajimu. Okay? The work is not done here. Now comes the same guy, Qari, he wants to read it. So he said, between shaitani and ar-rajimi, there's alif there. here, this alif. He said, why do I have to pronounce this alif? It doesn't add any information except adds time and long and all that thing. So he said, I'm not going to pronounce. And then the writer said, if you don't pronounce, I'm going to put this a little swad on it. Okay? So now you combine noon with the ra. Nirrajimi. Nir combined with the ra. So that's the reason it became Nirrajimi. Okay? And then the reader said, oh, this is the last word of the sentence. So he said, last word I don't pronounce with the harkat. Last letter I change this harkat, this thing, to a sukoon or a jazm. So the pronunciation is rajim. Now another thing, when you listen to the Quran recitation by the Qari, focus on this thing. If he is going to stop here, or Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim, what he will do, first of all, in the Quran it will be written this way. Kasra will be there. Here kasra will be there. But when he is going to recite, he is going to not to recite the kasra, but will put a sukoon on the meme, but stretch the ya. He will say Rahim, Rajim. Next time when you're listening, the person who is reciting the salat, when he pronounces Dalin, he will stretch on the ya, only on the ya, not on anything. He wants to put the beauty in the sound. Rajim, Rahim, Dalin. So these are all the rules, combination of grammar and reciter. The whole language becomes very beautiful spoken language. Okay, so that is the meaning. So the meaning will be the devil, the cursed one, the one who has been cursed. Okay. So this is just the beginning of the first part of this, which is not even written in the beginning of this surah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. We just memorize and we recite that. Okay, but Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim is written in the beginning of the surah, which is not part of the surah. It's just different opinion about Surah Al-Fatiha. That is, Bismillah is the part of the Surah Al-Fatiha or not. It's two opinions about that. But for all other surahs, Bismillah is not written except Surah At-Tawbah. And again, there are two opinions, but the most opinion is that the Surah At-Tawbah is a continuation of Surah Al-Anfal, which is before that. So there is no need to write Bismillah before that surah. Okay. Even though it starts from a different page or break, there's a break in between in the name of the surah, but that's different.
What happens when we open the Quran and we start reading from Surah?
Then if you start reading from the middle of the surah, you say same thing, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Or from the beginning of the surah. Okay? But if you are reading the Surah Al-Anfal and you continue reading to Surah At-Tawbah, then there is no Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim in between. Okay? But any time you open the Quran, read from anywhere, these two things should be followed. Okay? So I think we should stop, inshallah, because the next one will take another 45